So, welcome to Module 2. The Module 2 is titled Finding What Meant. The first module, you remember, it's The Orders of Love, is a book title of Bert Hellinger, which is in English translated as Love's Hidden Symmetry. And Finding What Meant is his also book title of him. And that is in German, not anerkennen, was ist, Die Mitte fühlt sich leicht an, and that is what I translated to English, Finding What Meant. Today, tomorrow, and the next day, we will looking at how we actually facilitate a family constellation, what we are looking at, what words, what gestures we need to facilitate, what are the hints, the clues we get from the representatives, how do we interpret them, and what are the most common dynamics in family constellation, dynamics coming from the family system that we are facing as a facilitator. So we are looking at, in specific, the powers of word, and we are focusing on 3 words: yes, please, and thank you. And we are focusing on the relationship of these words in the orders of love. In part 1, which is today, we are looking at the orders of words in general, at the word yes, the 3 patterns of relationship, and I will introduce you to entanglements in family system. We were looking at reparations or atonement for my sins tomorrow, because I would like to watch a video with you today to explain better where you can see an entanglement, so it just makes more sense to you than me just hearing you talking. Yeah. And tomorrow we will look at the word please. We will look at 2 dynamics, the atonement for sins and rather me than you dynamic. We will look into the morphogenetic field and what that is. And we will also, if we have time tomorrow, look into severe and fatal diseases in the context of a family constellation. In the 3rd part, that is on Sunday for New Zealand, we say we are looking at the word thank you, the 3rd word, which is thank you. We are looking at the 3rd dynamic, that is the I follow you dynamic. We will all find what meant, meaning we will finally look at words, gestures, eyes, and movements in a family constellation of the representatives that gives us an exact picture of what we are looking at and where the imbalance is and what needs healing. So buckle on, here we go. The healing power of yes. Yes is, as we use it in day-to-day life, also in constellations, nothing else than agreeing. Yeah? If you say yes, you agree to something. And we talk in the family constellation terminology, if you will. We say this is acknowledging what is. The yes is acknowledging what is. The words have a certain order, as you will see, and the orders of the words are related to the relationship of the 2 people that are part of the conversation, if you will. Yeah. We were looking at this 3 pattern of a relationship. We were looking at entanglement dynamics in family system. And tomorrow, as I said, I don't think we can go through it today. We were looking at our first entanglement dynamic, which is called atonement for sin. All right, let's start with acknowledging what is. Do you has one of you sourced the book Acknowledging What Is? Wonderful, Michelle. Great. Have you read it? You could too? Yeah? What do you think? And Tamara too? What do you think? Anything that stuck
amazing.
with you? Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm still reading it, but after I went less than half, I had like 10 subjects for individual work.
Yeah.
So It was
It's
so
very profound,
beautiful.
no?
It's
Yeah,
very strong for
yeah.
me, very clear. It is like shifted from on this, way that we used to hear maybe, but it brings freedom to me.
Mm.
Each chapter I read was kind of release of freedom, because the truth is is the only way. So I was so grateful. The book is amazing. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I
And it's
have
the
it on
first.
Croatian. I have
Ah,
it
have you?
it's
Oh my
amazing.
God!
Yes.
I
So
didn't even know
yeah.
this translated in Croatian. That
Almost there are more than 10 translated books of birth
wow,
healing.
that's amazing. Great,
Yes.
wonderful. David, what? Yeah, question?
So, sorry, who's this book by? Is this a Hellinger book?
Yes, that's the first one on the list of the recommended
Okay.
books, and it is also his first book. It's not even his book; it's an interview that he gave, and it's the first publication of him, and it's still the best. I mean, all his books are great, but this is still the best. Everything is in there, already said. Everything, yeah, which is absolutely amazing. It's like the power of now from Eckhart Tolle. You think they are guided, that's not even human. What did you think about it, Michelle?
Yeah, I think the book I read once and I reread a couple of the chapters as well. It's a very healing book.
Mm.
And it's just the style is striking in the sense that I can feel very vividly, Bert Hellinger, his style is
Mm-hmm.
very bold. He makes those bold statements,
Yeah.
but it's like he sees that's the truth, and there's like no ambiguity. That part is, yeah. And then just how very crisp, in a very crisp manner, he kind of just resolves. And some cases, it's like a very short, description and movement, and then that was it. I was just very impressed. It's just worth rereading again and again. Very
Definitely.
thin book, but it's so much packed with wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. This is why it's the top of the list. Definitely a must for every facilitator to read repeatedly and keep it with you, and put it under your pillow in the night. If you will. Yuko, you also already read it?
Yes, I'm still reading it
Yeah.
in Japanese actually.
Wow, in Japanese.
I bought an English version, but I just want to also make sure how it written in Japanese, or starting with my language. And yeah, I'm in the middle of it, but yeah, it made me clear how
Mm-hmm.
this constellation is developed, and it feels like a lawyer. I don't know. You stay put, and then you don't get wobbled by the feeling or the stories, but you just
No, exactly. Stay
that
focused.
stay
Yes,
focused and not distract by all these dramas.
exactly. And that is his strength, and that is the strength of a facilitator. That is the strength to not get distracted by the drama. And we will talk about how we talk with clients. I think it's in the next module in detail, because this is the most common mistake that I see people doing. And he said such a great example how to stay focused and with the family system and the orders of love, and not with the drama and stories and what you hear and what you feel and the emotions and all of that. And I would like you to also learn and observe this work in this way, because this way the work has the power. Yeah. So acknowledging what is nothing else than saying, okay, yes, it is what it is. Yeah, it is so. Whatever we see, it is what it is. We cannot say, oh no. We say that. We say, oh no, oh no. But why would we say it happened? It is what it is, yeah? Whatever. I broke the glass. Oh, no, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. The glass is broken. So it is so interesting. And that is one of his strong findings, not only him, every really spiritual master says the same, right? That to stick with the truth and saying it out loud is already healing, yeah? And not trying to find excuses, not trying to find explanations. That doesn't matter. And we do the same in the family constellation. That is the most healing step, is already the first step, which is always acknowledging what is in the family constellation. Yeah, that's always the first step. And mark my words, put it in your notebook, underline it 3 times. You will forget it when you're in the practice workshop, and I will remember you. Acknowledging what is always the start of a family constellation, the first step. And not only in a family constellation, but in every movement of a family constellation as well. No? Right? It is a fundament for the movement of the souls, because it is to find what is true, because that's all that heals, is finding what is true and to admit it. I'm not a Bible person, but I think somewhere in the Bible it stands, the truth will set you free or something. And or it's quoted, the truth will set you free, which is not true. In the Bible it says, know the truth and it will set you free. You know the difference? That's the difference. You need to know it. Yeah. So when you know the truth in a family constellation, it needs to be admitted. By whom? By the facilitator? Maybe, but definitely that is not the healing movement. The healing movement is that the persons who have denied the truth admit it. Yeah. And that's what we do with our healing words. So when this truth, which is always short, like Bert Helling has taught us, always it's 1 word or 2 words or a very short sentence. If this is hard to say, sounds harsh or unconventional, this is okay. In fact, it is the best. We are not powder coating, whitewashing, or putting a rosé glasses on or something like this. When we are working with the soul movement, the soul is not, doesn't need that, and it will be maybe diverted with these. We speak directly to the soul, and the soul will react only to the truth. Yeah, that's the only thing they will acknowledge, they will resonate with. Yeah, and that can be really sound harsh. I give you an example. I have it from Bert Hellinger. I do it myself. I see lots of people doing it. It works all the time. If you're working with a mother who has aborted a child, you can see the distress in the mother. Of course, you do. Yeah. And it's no morals with it and nothing. It's her decision, and that's totally fine. But if this is resolved, that it is causing imbalance in the family system, and another child will suffer. Yeah. And that's what you want to heal. You want to help them healing that. Now, if you say to this mother, oh, maybe it would be good if you could look at the child and look at it and say, oh my gosh, now I see what I have done. Yeah. Does this move the souls? Or I killed you. What do you think? Yeah. Only to acknowledging the bare and naked truth with this, I killed you, even I murdered you, is what moves the souls. Yeah? And that has nothing to do with the emotions of the mother. She also needs to wake up. It's on her soul level. She knows the truth. Her soul knows the truth. Yeah? That doesn't need to be disguised. The child knows the truth, and now it needs to be acknowledged. And that is when healing can take place. And in this example, I choose it because it is really, really common, and you will see that a lot. Yeah. It doesn't help nobody, or it helps nobody to try to wash that white, the fact that they killed their child. Yeah. Right? Be aware of that. And it has nothing to do with morals or laws or anything like this. Yeah. Only with the bare naked truth of the soul. The soul, the truth, the souls are carrying with them. Yeah. To find what is, you need to observe, of course, right? How would you otherwise, poking in the dark doesn't help. Sometimes we do that, however, but we do it in a very precise way. But we are not completely fishing in the dark and trying to pull something out that might be truth or not. We start to observe a dynamic, and then when we start to see what dynamic we have with the knowledge you know and with the connection to the morphogenetic field, you will know exactly what words need to be said to acknowledging what is, to acknowledging the truth. Yeah. So observing is to find the true, and the saying out loud is to admit it. We need both. Yeah? We need both. You cannot skip one of these steps. The words to acknowledge what is can or normally do start with I did this, I see this, I feel this. That is all acknowledging what is. I make a more or less drastic example. If you have a dynamic and you see somebody looking sad and looking to the floor, yeah, and you don't know, and it, that's how it looks like, and there is no movement, we starting with acknowledging what is. So you would suggest to this representative to say, I feel sad. That's important. Yeah, that's the first step in a family constellation. And you don't need to know why you want them to say. You just learned it and you apply it because they look sad, so they admit it. And then you ask, is that true? If you need to, if you're in doubt, if they look at you like this, yeah, if you like, huh? Then you would probably say, is that true? And then they would say, actually, it is true. I'm just surprised. Yeah? Or they would say, I don't think it's true. And then you would try something else. We go through that today and tomorrow. Yeah. So important is even the smallest tiny movement that you see, emotion that you see, gaze of direction that you see, that is what needs to be admitted. That needs to be what needs to be acknowledged first. And then everything will, evolve from there. But Henning has once said, and I'm sure he's been quoted all over the internet with that, I revolutionized the psychotherapy, because you remember he was a psychotherapist. Yeah. I realized I can heal every client with just 3 words. Yes, thank you, and please. Nothing else is needed. You can imagine that, the psychotherapists were screaming out loud because they studied for many, many years and, and they didn't like that. But it is true. In a family constellation, you only ever would need these 3 words. Yes, thank you, and please. And the power lies in them when somebody is saying it to whom. That's the power. Yeah. However, you will learn more than just 3 words, but I would like you to remember, especially when you do your first practice workshops, you only need 3. You don't need to remember 10 sentences of resolution or 20. Yeah. If you don't, no problem. Resort back to one of the 3 words. The words come in an order. So it's not only one word that needs to be said. Sometimes the words are said in a sequence for the healing movement. And which comes first depends on the relationship we are working with. And the words are just kind of, or they can be replaced with so-called sentences of resolution, which give you a few more words and which are sometimes better and stronger than just using one word, especially if you work with representatives or a client who is very much in their mind. And they very often cannot really follow when you are going with a bare naked 3 words. So it is might good to add sentences of resolution, and they do have their place. So to find out the sequence of these words, we have to look at the relationship, and there are 3 patterns in relationship, and they have different sequences of words. So the mother and father, remember, order of precedence, second order of love, come first to the child. Yeah. They only ever say to the child, yes. Yeah. Yes, acknowledging. They never say please because they don't need anything from their child. Yeah. And they never say thank you because they are the ones. If anybody is thankful, then the child, not the parent. Yeah. So in the family constellation, and maybe in real life as well, I don't know, but in a family constellation, the parents only say yes, or the grandparents or the great-grandparents or the ancestors, they only say yes to a descendant. That's the order. There's only one word. And it can come in many, many, many different shapes and forms and sentences, of course. Giving blessing is a yes, right? For example, yes, I bless you. Michelle, yes. Question?
Just
Yeah.
when I saw this, what really flashes to me is we as parents, we spend most of the time saying no to our children in everyday situations.
That's so true.
I know. I mean, I understand this is in the context of family constellation. I wonder, how does that? What's the implication of this principle in real life?
I'm sure. Okay, so we come to that. Okay, there are 2 parts that I would like to talk to when you mention that. One is real life. That's a good question. And the other one is no in family constellation. Yeah. So we come to that later. We stay away from negatives in family constellation in general. In real life, now that you say it, I mean, the yes cannot come without the no, right? Because it's yin and yang. It's a dual. It's part of a dualist. So so the yes does have a no and has to have a no. In a family constellation, we don't use the no, but in real life, of course, we use the no. But the no is just saying the yes is the right. You know what I mean? The relationship demands a yes, even if you say no, because it's just the other side of the flip side of the same coin. Yeah, it's acknowledging your position as the one before. You tell them what to do. Either you say yes or you say no. So you are in order. Yeah,
that's true. Yes,
and therefore there is nothing wrong with this, I would say. Right? Very good. So then we have the other relationship. It's an other relationship because it's different, is from the child to the parent. Yeah, it's a different relationship. It's not the same. So if we are looking from the child towards the mother or father, we have the 3 words that needs to be addressed. And it always, 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 always starts with please. That's where we start. The relationship from a child to the parent is please, because they are in need. They are in need that they give them love, of course. Love in many forms of like nutrition, like shelter, like safety, like security, like structure, like education, whatever. That's all love. Yeah, money, it's all love. But they give, they receive, so the children have to say please in order to be able to receive. Please is always first. And we will know later, and I think we will talk more about it in module 4, when we have these interrupted movements. We have an interrupted, or the sign for an interrupted movement, and just remember that when I say it here later, the signs of an interrupted movement is like in 90% that the child said, I can't say please, I want to say thank you. And if you don't follow the orders of love of Bert Helling and you fell for it and you think, oh, that's good, the child wants to thank the parents, no healing is possible. Yeah, there is no movement of the soul ever. Yeah, so there are so many traps to fall into if you're not following the orders of love. Please is always first. The child needs to receive first. Let's assume the child has received. Of course, then it can say thank you. Thank you is, as you will learn later, parting. And at one stage, the children need to leave their parents, right? At one stage, the children need to be their own parents, their own people. Yeah? And they can only become their own people and therefore good parents for their children if they are able to let go of their parents and their neediness. And they will express that with a thank you. And then later in life, and you might have experienced that with your own parents, you come to the stage where you completely understand your parents. And that is the yes. In the family constellation, that's represented with the yes. That you're acknowledging everything the parents went through. Yeah. And you see the truth and you admit it. So that's the 3 words in this order. So when I wake you up in the middle of the night and I say, what is the pattern, what is the right order of the power of words from a child to a father? You say, please, thank you, and yes, without even thinking about it. Yeah. And then we have this 3rd relationship, and that is all following the 2nd order of love precedent. Yeah. The equal relationship. Think of the lake, the surface, lake surface situation. Yeah. And we is just as a partner to partner, or victim to perpetrator, or whoever is level here. Yeah, the order is reversed, not reversed, but it is different. The yes comes first, then the please, and then the thank you. And interestingly, that's really easy to memorize, because what do you say when you get married? Yes, right? So this is how you can memorize it. It starts with a yes. The relationship starts with a yes. Acknowledging that you want the other and the other wants you. That's a yes. Yeah. Then, without the yes, nobody is really committed to the relationship. We don't have a relationship. They don't need to marry to do that, but they need to say on a soul level to each other, yes. Yeah. I take you as you are. I take you with everything it entails, whatever. Yes. Yeah. Then later in the relationship, the please comes. Why? Because the please forms a bond. And the please is not from one to the other. It's vice versa. Yeah, because it's a leveled relationship. Both need to acknowledge that they need something from the other. Otherwise, they couldn't bond. And then later on in the relationship, we have the thank you when they part again. Yeah, they need to thank each other to level. Think of the 3rd order of love, balance, to level everything out, balance everything out they have not yet balanced out, emotionally, gifts, whatever they have received. All needs to be leveled out. And it can be leveled out with a thank you. And thank you is also the word that is allowing everybody to part. So when I wake you up in the night and ask you what is a sequence of the power of words in the partner relationship, you say, yes, please, thank you. And you don't even need to think about it. Okay, now let's look at the sentences of resolution and what they are. First of all, they are coming from the field. We haven't thought them out. They are direct information from the morphogenetic field. They don't come from the mind. This is why when you see facilitator, and watch me, looking like this in a constellation, they are not connected with the mind, with the morphogenetic field. They are thinking. They are looking in the mind. What do they do if they're connected with the field? They look down, just a little bit down, sometimes closing eyes, but definitely not up. Yeah, up, looking up is always a sign fishing in the mind. A very certain sign. Yeah. So these sentences are not coming from the mind. And often they don't even make sense to the mind, by the way. Yeah, and this is why when you know they come from the field. And Bert Hellinger was a master in these sentences, right? And this is why we use them as well in the translated version, of course, in English, because they are powerful. When I say they need to come from the mind, doesn't mean they need to come everything new from the mind, from the field. I'm not saying that they need to be in every constellation new sentences coming from the field. Yeah, it can be, and it often is, the sentences that already are used, that are originated from the morphogenetic field. These sentences are always concerned with either reconciliation, flow of love, or honor and respect. As you know, that's all we do in family constellation, right? Reconciliation or honor and respect is what we want to achieve. And this is what's missing, what is bringing the disorder to a family system. They are very simple. They speak directly to the soul. They are either true, reflecting the energy as is, or not true. Then, if they are not true, you have to find a sentence that is true. And it's often exactly the opposite, right? Because there's either true or not true. It's like a pregnancy. You are either pregnant or not pregnant. There's not a little bit of pregnancy. There's not a little bit of truth. It's true or not true. It's very simple. They are used since decades, not only from Bert Hellinger, from all the facilitators after him. So use them literally. Don't shy away to use them literally. That's what they are for. You are not in a contest to find unique sentences of resolution. You know? No, use them. They are perfect. And as the sequence of the words, the sentences of resolution depend on the relationship you are working with, obviously, right? So one sentence of resolution in one relationship is not a sentence of resolution in the other, because it's not true. Yeah. And when it's not true, it doesn't move anything, because it's not acknowledging what is. And that is the only start point we have. All right, let's look at yes and the sentences of resolution. Yes is a good word, but it can also be stronger when you add a sentence of resolution. One is, I take on this life with everything it entails. Agreeing to the life we have. It's a very strong sentence of resolution in a family constellation context, even in a day-to-day living situation. It is already strong. I take this life even at the cost of yours. You will see in an entanglement situation that is very strong. It's acknowledging what is. Yeah. Or it's my death and my fate. I alone carry it. By leaving it to me, you are honoring my life and fate. That's also a yes. That's an ancestor's yes. After an entanglement or within an entanglement. That's, circumstantial. So these are just a few examples when to apply the word yes and the sentence of resolution. And you will get the picture when we work with it. It makes really sense. And you will hear me that using all the time, and you will get used to it, the other sentences of resolution that are possible. When a dynamic is not, the dynamics to not to apply yes, what does right? The dynamics to and not to apply yes, that's what I say. So when a relationship, a movement is still in need to be acknowledged, obviously you use yes. When an unbalanced or an entanglement is still observed, you don't use yes. Yeah. So you need to be sure what is the right point to use the word yes. So acknowledging what is standing for the yes. Yeah. Whenever we want to acknowledge something, we use yes or a sentence of resolution that is dense down into yes or spread out from a yes. Yeah. Acknowledging what is. Remember this example with the sadness. Remember with this example with the abortion, right? That's just acknowledging what is. And it's always ends with I am, I feel, I did, very, very precise. Yeah. There is no I might have, or I would have, or I had in the past. Normally not. It's always present tense. Yeah. Having said that, if you look at emotions, it's present tense. If you look at the killing, you don't say I kill you because it has happened. Obviously, you need past tense. Yeah. So it needs to make sense as well. Like the sentences, they need to be appropriate to what you're looking at. You also need to apply the word yes to move forward. You will see that over and over again in a family constellation, that it looks like the representatives are stuck. It looks like nobody is moving. And that is the worst nightmare for a beginner facilitator. They simply don't know what to do. Well, the remedy here is acknowledging what is. Just and admit it. So you would ask every representative that you are working with to acknowledge what is, what they feel, what they did, what they, where they want to go to, where they look at. That is moving the soul. Remember that. It is not a step that you can skip, and it's the most important step to move things forward in a constellation. You need also the word yes to getting support of a parent or an ancestor. Remember, they are only able to say it through a yes. So the parents or the ancestors sometimes have to say yes to the descendants or to their children, even though you would say, well, it is obvious, but it needs to be said, because for the child, for example, it is the representative of the child. It is not obvious. Yeah. So they have to say, yes, I love you. Yes, I'm here for you. Yes, you have my blessings. Yes, I support you. Yes, in any kind, shape, or form that is appropriate in this setting. Yes, we know that now in a partnership is at the beginning of a relationship, needs also to be said. And if it's not so going back to the relationship, if one partner is not able to say yes, it is not true, then obviously we can't make them, then it's just a sign that this relationship is not, they are not committed in this relationship. Yeah. When not to apply yes is another important information. You never apply a yes in a family constellation when you have still a needy child. This is why it's so paramount that the child can say please first and thank you after. If the child cannot say that, they cannot say yes. Yeah? Okay. When a victim cannot look at the perpetrator, that's also tempting to say, because victim perpetrator relationship are level also, they are equal, like situation. So there is the yes at the beginning, yeah. So they find, yes, I see you, you are the one who did that to me, and the perpetrator says, yes, I see you are the one I did it to. Yeah. So that's a yes. Needs to be acknowledged. But if they cannot look at each other, there's no yes. Yeah. And that's also something we will talk about more often. And that's a common failure, a common mistake that the trainees do in the practice workshop. And of course, I always correct that. Do not ask somebody to say something to who's not looking at them. They cannot. They cannot look at the wall and then say yes to somebody who's standing there, right? How would that work? It's not possible. They cannot receive this word. And we cannot turn them around and like figures on the checkboard or something and make them look. We need to find what is the problem that they can't look. Yeah. And that's the healing movement for the soul. So the yes is not the right word in this case. Yeah. At any instance where acknowledgement is not possible yet, I say, because it at one stage it will, you do not apply the word yes. Yeah. If acknowledgement is not possible, no yes. Okay, let's look at the yes towards parents. That is after please and thank you has been said, right? Yes, I honor and respect you as my parent. That's a yes. You are the big ones and I am the small one. That's also an acknowledgement of a child, yeah? I honor you and your life journey and soul purpose. It's often not acknowledged and the children think they know better what is best for their parents, which is obviously not in order. So if they can acknowledge that, then they are not needy anymore, in need of the parents' upbringing. Yes, what goes on between the two of you has nothing to do with me. That is when a child is judgmental towards the parents and what they do, like if they fight with each other or this or that. If the child feels the right to judge that whatever they do is not right, they are disobeying the order of precedence. Yeah, it's not their business, simply. So this is a sentence of resolution. What goes on between the two of you has nothing to do with me. And that's a yes, of course. I acknowledge the love between you and am not in the place to judge that. It's the same situation, another sentence of resolution. Yeah. Another yes towards a parent is without you, I won't exist. Yeah. That's also yes. You gave me life, all these words. And I'm sure you can come up with other words if you think about it. And that's something that you might want to do when you rewatch the video, thinking of in your own words, what else can be acknowledged towards the parents as a yes. Yeah. Okay, now the yes towards children, when the parents say yes, is I give you my blessings on your way. That's also what ancestors can say, of course, yeah. Yes, you are free to do whatever you want to do is the strongest yes the parent can give their children. And now you see already how often parents are not in their rightful place, yeah? Because who can say that, right? So that would be the yes. Yes, whatever you do. Yes, my love will always be with you, yeah, regardless what you do. It's also acknowledging what is, yes. I will always, in the family constellation, we like to say, I will always look with you at you with love. Yeah. I'm here when you need me is a yes. Yeah, it's an offer. They can take it or not the call of the parent. But if they want it, if the child is still in need, if they're still in the please state, then they can go to the parent. And of course, there are other words that you might want to think about, other sentences of resolution. That you practice finding sentences of resolution for this yes. Okay, so we have an exercise. We're applying the word yes. I put in two groups. every group has everyone has 4 minutes. Yeah, one is the child, and the other is representing a parent. Yeah, one is the client, and the sorry, so one is a client, and the other is either the parent or a child. If you have children, you can decide you are the parent, right? Okay. If you have no children, you are obviously the child. So that's up to you. So what we do is in this exercise, you talk about who you are, then you start to connect without words, yeah, with the representative, because your partner is representing. And then you try to observe the dynamic, what is going on, both of you, but you're not sharing it, you're just observing it, yeah. And then decide who has to say when yes, yeah. Is it the parent or is it the child? And then it's also interesting to observe who wants to say yes. What would be a possible sentence of resolution, as a sentence you want to add to the yes, something you want to add, yes, why, yes, yeah. And then just observe, is it in the right order? Is this in order to do that? Thinking of the sequence of the word, yeah? Okay, is that clear, the exercise? And do you have any questions to what I said before in order to do the exercise?
So the sentence, the yes sentence, that's at the end of the 4 minutes, and
More or less, yeah. Whenever you can do it earlier. Whenever you feel you know what to do, yeah.
Okay. Are you going to give us a reminder, or we just
Yeah,
talk?
yeah, I will definitely give you a reminder. After 3 minutes, I will let you know you have a minute left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a client, and the other person is representing me as a parent, right?
Or a child. What you can choose that you are the client.
Okay.
So you can say, okay, I'm the client. I want to be the mother, and you are representing my son.
Okay.
Or you can
This I
say,
wasn't-
okay, I'm the daughter, and you are representing my mother. Yeah. So the client decides whom the other is representing. It needs to be a parent and child relationship, not a partner relationship in this exercise. Okay. Are we good? Cool. All right. So let's put you in your breakout rooms. And I will let you know when 3 minutes are up, so you have a minute left. Hello, welcome back.
David, please, not the same position. but like, okay.
And you're also hot, Tamara. I can see that.
Oh, it's 40 here, it's very hot.
My gosh. Wow.
Not in
Okay.
this moment, but in
Yeah.
a few hours.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Right. Let's share. How was the exercise for you? Who wants to start? Maybe Tamara? With whom were you
When
with?
I was with Michelle, and when I was constellating when I was client, I was mother, and Michelle was my daughter. I feel like crying. I don't know me, it's so simple for me to feel it. So at first, now I recognize I had the urge to save her. And not to save her, but to really be very close and to really, I'm asking her to acknowledge me somehow. That's the truth.
Did you say yes, or did Michelle say yes?
Very, I said yes, very easily
Mm-hmm.
and very fast. I mean, not too fast, but
Mm-hmm.
in the mid, like maybe after 2 minutes.
Okay.
I felt urged to let her know that yes, I'm here for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have all the love for you. I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And she could receive them, but she will tell.
Yeah.
it was-
Okay. Michelle, how was that?
Well, the sentence that quickly came to me was, "Please, I need you."
Good.
But I held off because I thought we were supposed to wait. uh, so that's kind of part of the exercise that I probably didn't quite get, what we're supposed to do. And then when Tamara said first, yes, I think she said, I forgot what she said. What did you say? The yes.
Yes, I'm here for
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah. You said yes. Um I'll let you be who you are, and I thought that was very
Yes, yes, yes.
resonating. It was really
Yes.
resonating, and I'm tempted to say yes, but then I thought as a child I'm supposed to say please first. So I was then I guess I started to engage my mind. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
But you
something.
had the please before she said yes. You wanted to say please.
But I didn't say it out loud.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Yet.
totally fine. It wasn't the exercise, but that's interesting for Tamara to know. Yeah, that her daughter is that the relationship is in the right order, regardless how it looks like. If the daughter wants to say please, then and you want to say and you can say yes, then you know that is there is no no
Mm.
just obstacle in the way.
There is a flow. There is a flow,
Yeah,
but
there
there's
is,
maybe
a flow
yeah.
of love.
yeah.
Yeah, implicit or explicit, I think
Yeah.
that dynamic
Mhm.
was there, definitely.
Good. And then swap roles. How was that? Michelle, you were the client.
Yeah, so Tamara was representing my daughter, and
Same. Mm-hmm.
and so what came to me, I was struggling a little bit to find the right sentence. I think it's just because I was not familiar with
Mhm.
the sentences. I was kind of searching for words. There was then I said, yes, I will always be here, but I felt like there's a first part that's missing. There was something,
Mhm.
but I didn't quite get that sentence.
Mhm.
I arrived at the second part. So then Tamara said, please
Mhm.
see me,
Mhm.
something like that, or I need you to see me.
Yeah.
So that was actually, that's exactly the kind of words, the sentence I was looking for,
Mhm.
that I was trying to really want to say, yes, I see you, and then I will always be here. So that felt like the right order.
Mhm. Great. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good. How did you experience that, Tamara, as a daughter?
In the beginning, I was looking down a little bit shortly. That was the first, like,
Mhm.
and then I expressed the need to Michelle
Mhm.
because
And
it
that
was too much
came
tense. It
naturally.
was too tense to, yeah, it was too tense to bear this,
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
too tense for me, and like she's expecting something from me all the time that
Mhm.
I cannot give her. And this is what I shared. I again spoke first, and I was expecting her to speak to me first.
Mhm.
And then we came to this. So it was
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Okay, David and Yuko.
Okay, so first I was the daughter and David was my father.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the first the words it came was please. So I think I was asking him to give him a strength or blessing,
Mm-hmm.
like I need you to support me to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, energy move forward or something,
Mhm.
you know, that. And yeah, so then towards the end, very end, when David said yes, and then I felt the relief.
Oh, good.
And
Yeah.
yes, so that was, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was a interesting experience. I need his support, the energy to
Mm-hmm.
challenge my life, or I don't know what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. It doesn't matter how old you are. You know, if this need it hasn't been satisfied, it will always be in the way. And this is why we have family constellation, because as Sophie Hellinger said, my favorite quote from her is, in family constellation, you see it is never too late for a fulfilled childhood. Even if the peoples are long dead, you know, they can still start to receive what they haven't before. Yeah. So great. Yeah, very good. David, how did you experience being her father?
um, it was quite strange. I felt that it was very formal.
Mm-hmm.
I felt quite serious about the whole thing, and I felt like, you know, I had to wait to make sure that I was really believing that I was being honored.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was right at the end that I just thought, I need to say yes, and I just yes was the word that came.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, but what I was sensing was that I am feeling honored,
Mm-hmm.
because the formality of the thing gave me that sense. And I didn't realize in the exercise that we were supposed to say the phrase that went with it.
No, you don't. You were not. The yes is totally fine. Yeah.
But it was yes, and the sense I had was that I feel I am being honored.
Mm-hmm. All right. Interesting. Very
Oh,
good.
interesting. Yeah.
Mm.
I
And
should tell
we,
my father. Okay, go ahead.
And then
no,
when you
sorry,
swapped, yeah. And then when you swapped,
I was the client. Yuko was my daughter,
mm-hmm.
and for my part, it's funny. I didn't feel the need to say anything. In fact, I think I was waiting for her to acknowledge me, because I think in my relationship, I feel like I've done so much giving, and she's done so much receiving, that I think it's time that she grew up. And so I was waiting, and when Yuko said please, when Yuko said thank you, that was quite a relief to me.
Okay, I said okay. Yes, okay.
So you were hang on, you were the daughter and you said yes to David, the father.
Yeah, I felt like I shouldn't say that yes, but it's including like, yes, it's
That's
okay.
right, yeah,
This feeling. So it's more like, Dad, it's okay. Thank you. It's enough. It's okay. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Something that it's like, got it. You know, something this. So but I know that I shouldn't say yes from the daughter, but it came naturally. So
The thank you would be appropriate. Yeah.
But it was funny, because the way Yuko said the yes, I took it as a thank you.
Yeah, see.
yeah.
Because I think we were I was wanting her to say thank you, but the fact that she said yes, and it was so in my head that I
Yeah.
was that was what I was anticipating.
That's a
But it came anyway.
so the way I picture it now, that's a very good example in a family constellation when you all picture now a daughter, father-daughter relationship, when the father is expressing what David is just expressing, you would ask David to say yes to the daughter first as a facilitator. And then you would wait for the reaction if he can do that or not, if there's a resistance. Yeah. If there's a resistance to say yes, and you don't need to know any reasons because we are not discussing anything with our representatives. Yeah. If there's a resistance, if they cannot say yes to their child, we would turn them around and put their parents there. Yeah. Okay. Because if the parent cannot wholeheartedly, the representative, I'm not talking about the real parent, like if Dave would be represented by somebody who is him, right, as a father, and they remember acknowledging what is and asking if it's true. So if they cannot say yes because they would say, I can't say yes, I'm waiting for her to do something, yeah, that is not a yes, right? It is, and there's either pregnant or not pregnant. It's either yes or not. It's either true or not true. So don't get hung up with that. This story is not in family constellation. Yeah. So they cannot say yes. You turn them around. You would ask 2 other representatives for his father and his mother. Yeah.
But I mean, in my head, I've said yes a million times.
That's great, David. So now this is the other alternative. I'm just making an example. If you ask now David's representative to say yes, and they said yes out loud, and then you ask them, is it true? And they would say, yes, it's true actually. Then you don't turn them around. Then they are fully present for their child. So this is what I wanted to point the finger on, is that it's important to acknowledge, not only acknowledge what it is, but admitting it, saying it out loud. Yeah. It is always, it is even if it's the most obvious thing to say, they have to say it. Yeah. Right.
But because where I'm confused slightly, what am I saying yes to?
Aha. You're saying yes to your daughter. Yes, I'm here for you. Yes, I'm your father.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, it's an acknowledgement that this is a child you have given life to. Yes, I gave life to you. No, it's just an acknowledging that this is your child, and you are in the role of the father, whatever that means. We don't need to overthink these things, and we are not going with the emotional ballast that comes with it. Yeah, we are not doing that in family constellation. We are going to the bare naked truth of the soul, and that is, yes, I'm your father. If you cannot say yes, it is meaning, not you, I'm saying, if a parent cannot say wholeheartedly yes to their child, they are still in need. Yeah, and what happens when they are still in need? They haven't grown up. They have to go back to their parents. Yeah, and go through the please, the thank you, and then the yes. At least the thank you to the parents needs to be said until they can actually say yes to their children, right? So this is the way in a family constellation where you see where does the love flow? When we say the love flows, we mean without distractions, meaning without judgments. Yeah. So a love that is attached to a demand can only come from the child. That's their child's love is the need, and the parent's love is the yes. Yeah? Not a need, if you will, right? And that's so if in coming back to this example of from David, when in a family constellation you ask a representative of the father if they can say yes or say yes to your daughter and they say yes to the daughter, all good. If it's true, yeah. If they can't, that's fine. Then you would place their parents there. Okay. Great. Have we looked at everything, everybody? Yeah? Okay. Questions?
Like, can I say, so the daughter said yes, this case, then if David said yes back, then it's okay, right? That's right.
So that what the daughter said was actually thank you.
Yeah,
So
thank
apparently, apparently in this relationship, the daughter has already received from the father. And it doesn't matter, David, how much you have given. You can give so much and the child cannot be able to receive one thing. Yeah. And that will cause the interruption. That will be causing the imbalance. But your daughter obviously has been able to receive what you have been given. Yeah.
Mm.
So this is why she could say, and it was appropriate and it was a good example to say, thank you. She didn't need to say please. Because please would only mean she needs more.
Yeah. So instead I say yes, but that means
it was
actually,
a thank you. Yeah, the way you explain it was a thank you. So you need to
okay.
be also precise with your words, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But you will, if you practice, that will come easily. And you're not mixing that up. In theory, you can say yes before no. You can, in theory, say yes to everything. You can say yes, please, yes, thank you, yes, no, even, if you will. Yeah. But this yes doesn't mean anything. Yeah. It's the what comes after that means. Gives the meaning, true meaning. Okay, let that settle in for the next 10 minutes in our break. And I see you back in 10.
Can I just ask one short question? Sorry. I felt that as a Michelle daughter, I could not actually receive. I had some block there. Yeah. So does that mean also in my, I mean, I know it means, but I just want confirmation. It means it's my pattern too, right? Of not be able to receive. Yeah.
That's a daughter. You as a daughter.
But in the constellation with Michelle. But in my personal path is the same thing. It's actually, we are always reflecting, right, through these roles, our own also healing.
Well,
things, right?
that would be a little bit too over exaggerated.
Okay.
This is an exercise, not an actual constellation.
Okay.
Right, so I wouldn't go too deep into that. If it would be a constellation, yes, what you are chosen for as a representative has normally to do with you, but not in the obvious or direct way. It could be completely different. It could be very subtle. Yeah. And if it doesn't immediately trigger something in you, emotionally, or a memory, or a thought that connects the dots to you, I would just let it slide. Because it does in the background, in your family system, whatever your family system is needing, you know, like the program of a computer in the background is reorganizing things, and you never see it on your screen. And that's what the family system does as well. So you don't need to know that unless it really resonates with you and triggers something. Then
Thank
it
you
is
so
a
much.
direct experience. Yeah?
Yes, so not everything, you know. Yes. The mind starts. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay. So
Have a good break.
47. Okay.
Yeah. Not. So we go back. Okay. So you have it on your screen. So first of all, we go through the yes in partnerships again. And I'm not gonna say, well, I'd briefly say what I said. Yes, in the partnership at the beginning means I'm now free to be with you. No? Or I see you and you love. Remember, we talked about that. That is when one of the partners was not ready for the relationship. Most likely they have an interrupted movement towards their mother or their father, most likely the mother, and they cannot really say yes to the partner. They cannot commit. But once the healing movement has taken place between them and their mother, then they can actually go towards the partner. And that is the sentence of resolution. Now I'm now free to be with you. Or now I see you and your love, or now I'm fully available for you, right? And at the end of a partnership, which is obviously what we work a lot with, because people come to us because they are unhappy in their relationship and they want to change something, yeah. A yes would be, my love will stay even if I have to leave. Or another yes would be, I love you, and that what is guiding us. That's in a destiny relationship, when the love is still felt, but the destiny, whatever fate it was that brought the partners together, has been resolved. So at least one partner needs to move on. Yeah, you always have a place in my heart is a good yes. At the end of a partnership, and the strongest yes is when there are children, is through our children we always be connected, which is acknowledging this fact, which is undeniable, that the children are connecting the parents. So then we have the yes in relationship to different family members. So I just list them here, so you can watch it in the video. The yes in relationship to the ancestors is, I honor you and your death. Yeah, or I give you a place in my heart. And the relationship to God is, I am you and you are me, or now I see you in me, restating that from this hierarchy that the religious perception of God has created, which is in an imbalance, coming to a balanced relationship with this, the lake surface, which is acknowledging that they are the same. The yes in relationship to a victim is, now I see your pain. Or from a victim or a third party to the perpetrator, in this case from the victim to the perpetrator, I belong to you, we are the same. That's what the healing sentences of resolution are. An advantage giver would, for example, say, I'm honoring my debt to you. And a disadvantage giver would see, now I see your desperation, right? Because they took something away from the other. And that needs just to be acknowledged. That is what the yes is for. Yeah. Sometimes it's obvious and it still needs to be acknowledged. Sometimes it's subtle, and it's very important to acknowledge that too. All right, now we come to our entanglement dynamics. Belonging, conscience, guilt, and destiny form three basic entanglement dynamics in a family system. The first one is atonement for sins, is related to the word yes. Rather me than you is related to the word please, and I follow you is related to the word thank you. Each of these dynamics is each a breach of the orders of love and will come up in a family constellation to restore balance in the family system. We will see what an entanglement is on the next slide. It does happen to allow the imbalance to be seen. And the family system is not giving up. So if one descendant who is entangled is not looking at it and not clearing it, they will assign another descendant, the next generation, to do that. This is why we see entanglements often through several generations. However, since we are working with a new family constellation method, we don't need to go through all these entanglements. We go to the first one, to the original one, and apply healing there. And then it will ripple back through all the other generational entanglements and detangle them in the wake of it. The science of an entanglement.
Sorry, but what do you mean when you say the first one? The first one in the past, when it started?
When it
or
started.
The first one to us? Ah, okay.
Always a source. Going
Okay.
in the new family
Thank you.
constellation, we're going straight to the source. And we
Thank
don't
you.
need to know which one that is. We do not need to nail it. We do not need to say, oh, there's an entanglement between the 6th and the 4th generation. That's not important for the field. And we wouldn't know it neither. We wouldn't know it. So we would just speculate, right? It's rarely that we get this concrete information from the field, right? So we don't need to know that. So what are the signs of an entanglement? They are looking from a distance or into a distance. That is a strong sign for an entanglement. They feel drawn to someone, often somebody who's lying on the floor, representing somebody dead. Yeah, they want to lie down with somebody on the floor who's most likely a victim. They want to look down. They might stand, but they look down. That's also a strong sign for an entanglement. They express a deep love towards somebody else who's not their parent, or basically not their parent. And it can be the client or any other family member, right, who is the entangled person. So that does make no difference for us. So that is the entangled person. We also call them sometimes the entanglee. Then we have the second person, that's the entangler, and we always need a third person, which is the third party. There is no entanglement without 3 involved people. Now, and when you have only 2 people in a constellation, then, and it's not an interrupted movement dynamics to the father or to the mother, then they would like play table tennis. The ball goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, no movement, nothing you can work with. That's when you need the third person, the third party. They are needed. There are 2 relations, there are 3 relationships, 2 relationships from the entangled person. First of all, to the entangler in deep love, and they don't need to know the entangler. It could be generations before them, but it's on the soul level, a deep love that connects them. This is why they are suffering, and that is why they do the work to heal the family wound. And then they are in service to the third party, who comes most likely from another family system, and through the act of whatever happened between the entangler and the third party, most likely victim perpetrator, they are drawn into the family system but not acknowledged. That's normally the problem, why we have an imbalance. Meaning the healing movement is between the third party and the entangler. But when this healing movement is taking place, which is when they come together and acknowledging that they belong together in a victim-perpetrator relationship, the entangled person, as you can see, is free. There is no relationship anymore. That is like cutting the cords and moving on. That is the healing movement. It's not in the entangled person, it's not in the client, it's in 2 other family members. And the result is that the client is free. So we will look at that in an example from a workshop, an entanglement with the victim. It's a video from a recent workshop we had, where the client, who is entangled, the entanglee, the entangled person, identifies with the emotion of the victim, who is the entangler. So they are entangled with the entangler. And the third party, which is in this case a murderer, is a member of the client's family system. So the victim is drawn into this family system where the client and the murderer are blood related through this act of killing. Right? Remember, first order of love, who belongs. In the second part of this video, we are looking at the new family constellation, going with the spirit mind. That was when I talked with the client after the constellation came up, and that is a piece of important information that I want to share with you. And also, you see how you talk with the client after a constellation. So that is also for this purpose. So here is a video. And we just watch it. We can stop it. Why is it not playing? Hang on. Not playing. Okay. That's a strange thing to happen. Right. Let's try it again.
Now I'm living on my own in their house,
No, it's
and I'm actually very, very scared at night.
Can you hear it?
Some nights I don't go to sleep at all. I'm terrified.
In the night.
Yeah, that keeps me awake at night. Well, I'm scared someone's going to break in. Well, I've had it all my life. My
Yeah.
mother was frightened. I think I think it's generational.
You're specifically scared that somebody breaks in and does what?
Yeah. Murders me,
Mhm.
rape, murder, attack me. Yeah.
Choose a representative for yourself, of course, and then choose a representative of the murderer in your family system. One more for the victim.
I feel so much love for victim.
Mhm.
I can only see her. Like I'm not looking at anybody else.
Yeah, that is no surprise, of course, because Margot, you are entangled with the victim.
Like so much love and admiration.
And Navjoti, how do you feel?
I want to lie down. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so picture yourself lying down, and then tell me, would you rather, when you see yourself lying down in a room, would you rather open your eyes or close it?
Close.
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 Yeah, Reem?
No, I don't want her to lay down.
Well, she is.
Like as soon as she said she wants to lay down, like my heart, like no, this cannot be happening. No.
Where would you want to go now, Reem? When you're in a room with victim and she's lying down.
If she
Have
lays
her eyes.
down, I lay down with her.
Very good. Go there and lie down with her. Very good.
Okay.
Mhm. Are you having your eyes open or closed?
No, my eyes are open.
Mhm. At whom are you looking?
At the murderer.
Very good. How's that for you, Navjoti, that you're lying on your left side?
Well, I wanted her to be on my right.
On your right?
Yeah, on my left. I don't know, that place is supposed to remain empty, so I see her on my right. I want her on my right.
Okay. So you feel good about that she's lying with you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it doesn't matter.
Fine. And Eva, how do you feel?
At first, I felt nothing, just a little bit arrogant. I didn't want to see anybody here. I just looking like in front of myself, and just without any kind of emotion. But when Reem said that she will lie down, I started to feel urge. My heart started to beat, and I felt like, whoa, something bad is happening. I didn't feel very good about myself at that moment.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Reem, are you still looking at him, the murderer? Yeah. Say to him, me too.
Me too.
You can kill me too.
You can kill me too.
I have that feeling that it doesn't make any sense.
Very good. Very good. Reem, say to him, look at her, pointing at Navjoti.
Look at her.
You did that to her,
You did that to her.
and I love her.
And I love her.
Therefore, you did it to me too.
Therefore, you did it to me too.
Eva?
Yeah, when Reem said those words, I finally started to look at Navjoti, and at this moment, I can't take my eyes off her. I'm just like looking at her, and yeah,
Very good.
that like
Can you go closer to her?
yeah, I can. I am already.
Go on your knees next to her on the left side. Was it the left Navjoti? That yeah, on her left side.
Now I have a feeling that I'm on her right side.
Okay, now I'm probably confused. Where are you, Reem?
Yeah.
On her left or the right?
I was on her left, but then she said she doesn't want me there. She wanted me to go to her right.
But you were on the left.
Yes.
Yeah, so okay, that's good. Okay, now you're on her right side, right? Eva? Okay, that's good. Okay. Navjoti is opening her eyes.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble seeing. It was all extremely blurry so far. So I'm having to hold my device a bit far to be able to. But you know, I can see everyone else better. But Eva, I extremely
Yeah.
blurred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to sleep.
Eva, say to Navjoti, I belong here
I belong here
at your side.
at your side.
Yeah, now it's not blurred. I can see her clearly now.
Very good. Very good. Say to her too, I belong to you and you belong to me. Mm-hmm.
I belong to you and you belong to me.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Can you hold hands, Eva and Navjoti? Good. Very good. Look at each other and hold hands, lying on the floor together. How is that for you, Rim?
I'm happy. Feels so good to see this.
Good.
Like
you want-
I can leave them now. Yeah.
Good. Get up and stand away
Yes.
and look at them and say to them, yes,
Yes.
I now see you belong together.
I now see you belong together
And not me.
and not me.
Very good. Right. And turn around, Rim.
Yeah. Yeah.
And take a step forward in the another direction.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Okay, we'll leave it here. Thank you. Briefly stop it here. I just briefly stop it here to talk about what we have just seen. That was a typical entanglement, 3 persons, client, murderer, and victim, yeah. The victim saw everything blurry, couldn't see the murderer. The murderer was disinterested, didn't see the victim. So this is the imbalance, yeah. The imbalance in the family system is that the murderer and the victim are parted, yeah, on the soul level. Therefore, the client is going to the victim instead of the murderer. Why do we know they are entangled with the murderer? Because she feels afraid at night. You know, the client said she is afraid she will be murdered at night. There was very precise information that you get at the beginning of the constellation. So you knew already that there is a murderer in the family. Yeah. So we have the three representatives. They are doing the whole work. The client represented goes to the victim instead of the murderer. That's the entanglement. So she is the entanglee. She's entangled with the victim. She feels her fear to be murdered. Yeah. So that's the entangler. And the third party is the murderer. The murderer needs to come in. And as typical as it is, the third party in this case, in this kind of entanglement, is not looking at anyone, feels disconnected. Sometimes they say, I don't think I'm needed here. I'm not part of the constellation even. So disconnected are they, yeah? Of course, you're not buying that because you know that's exactly the symptom of this imbalance, of this disconnection, yeah? So nothing would have happened now if the client represented by Reem would not move towards the victim. That was not the healing movement, but it was an acknowledgement. It's an acknowledgement that somebody needs to be with the victim. And in the moment that she did that, the murderer woke up. That was the moment when they wake up. That is always a moment when they wake up and they see what's going on. Because in the soul doesn't want somebody else to take over their role. Yeah, on a soul level, they don't want that. You have to snap them out of it, if you will, in a family constellation. And in the moment that the client lays with the victim, the murderer wanted to do that. And that is the healing movement. The healing movement is between murderer and victim. And when that has taken place, and the murderer took over the place of the client was happy to get up, yeah, and turn away. And remember, at the beginning, she said, "Oh no, I don't want her to lie down." Even the victim, yeah, she was so entangled with them. Yeah? And at the end of this, there was a 10-minute constellation. She was happy to go and leave them. Yeah, that is then. The client is healed of an entanglement, but the healing movement was between the two others. No, that is a typical relationship between the entangler and the third party. Yeah? And by the end of this module, we will also analyze this video again and find out which dynamic we have seen. But you can't see that now because you just learned about the first one. So you have to, hold your horses and go through the next two parts, and then you will see what's the difference here. Any questions to this, or shall we move on to the next part of the video?
I've just got one question.
Yeah.
So the client, who was the lady that couldn't sleep at night, she thought she was going to be murdered. Did we ever find out that this had cured her?
That's another thing that you need to trust the field, because with your curiosity as a facilitator, you would actually be in the way of the movement. Yeah, so we really have to let it go. And the moment the constellation is over, it's done for us. It is, it's not, sometimes they report it back to you, and then that's fine, but you can never ask them. Yeah. And we will talk about that, about the right position of the helper in module 3. That's a very important question, David. Yeah. But here you will see when we play the video, she had an immediate response to it. And that often happens. Yeah, okay. So let's see. In this constellation, we didn't go through the generation and find out who is who. Yeah. We were following what Bert Hellinger has named the new family constellation, which he has developed, or he has called it going with the spirit mind, which lets us go straight to the source, straight to the core of the matter, without wanting or to know in which generation on the maternal, the paternal side, what has happened. Because it has been proven that for the healing process, it is not necessary. The downside of this is that it leaves the mind a little bit puzzled, you know, and busy, thinking, what was that? Who was that? You know?
I could hardly breathe when they lay down together and they said, you know, I don't belong, you know, I don't belong here. I'm ready to go. I couldn't breathe. I've had a pain in my chest. So it was kind of confusing. I felt I think I was quite scared. But, you know, I may as well trust the process, you know, and see how it goes.
Definitely. So are you feeling scared right now?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, trust the process, because this is why we have representatives for yourself, right? So you can see, we can rely on them connecting with the, you know, resonating with your family system and giving us an accurate picture of the state of the soul movement. Why when we would represent ourselves, we would always jump between our mind, our emotions, you know, and so it's often, this is the beauty about the workshop setting, that we have somebody who is representing us. Yeah.
So it keeps it one removed.
Yeah. And when Reem, as your representative, had clearly felt that she was free of that, and you know, then is what you can trust.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I'm not ready to, but I'll work on it.
And also, Margot, there's another thing. You have to give it time.
Yeah.
Because you are used to this entanglement. We call it an entanglement. This entanglement you maybe came with into this lifetime already. Most likely, yeah. And you are so used to this pattern in your life, to be afraid of somebody, be afraid of your life, be afraid that, you know, you've been murdered, that now this shift is indeed, as strange as it sounds, scaring. Because you don't know who you are without this
I've always
identification.
been scared all my life. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know a time when I haven't felt scared.
Exactly.
So so you're right. That would be scary.
It is scary to not be scared.
Yeah.
See how the mind works now. It
Yeah.
gives you another thing to be scared about.
Yeah.
Because you're not scared anymore. So interesting. But take a breath, relax, and just be aware of this pattern that's only in your mind going on. Yeah. On a soul level, there has been a solution. There has been a big movement. Now your mind just needs to catch up with that. You just need to get used to it. Yeah.
Okay.
This new sensation of freedom that can be scary at first. Definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
But be aware of every kind of progress you do, especially in the night when you fell asleep, even if it's ever so small. Because this is quieting your mind down. It calms your mind down. Yeah. If you feel a little bit less scared, and if you can sleep a little bit better, then be aware of that.
Yeah.
And just say, look, I've gained this bit of freedom, and that can only grow. And when you let it grow, then the other side will shrink and get smaller and smaller, obviously. Okay, very good.
Okay, thank you.
Very good, thank you. So you saw she had an immediate response to the constellation. And what is also good here to understand, as from the perspective of a facilitator or future facilitator, is you are not looking for a happy end. That's not what we do. Yeah, we are serving the family system. And a change in the energy field, a soul movement, does not always make things rosy at first. Yeah, it is this change that needs to happen to unravel other steps, to unravel something else, to go through. And as she very accurately reported, she had an instant reaction that although she wasn't scared, it was not night, she wasn't scared to be murdered. After the constellation, she felt now scared, and we discussed that there, why that can be, and that is normal, right? So you can either see a representative of the client being relieved or the client themselves. We always go with the representative of the client because it's more accurate. If the representative of the client after a constellation or at the end of a constellation feels released, free, happy, and able to take steps away from the entanglement, we know that the souls have moved in the right direction. If the client feels it or not, right? On the other hand, in a constellation that is in full swing, you always look at your client. You never lose sight of your client. And if something happens in the constellation and your client has a big sigh of release, then you break it up. That's what you need. That's what they needed, right? So you don't need the constellation to show it. The client has shown it. So either the representative or the client will give you, as a facilitator, the information that the release has taken place, and that's the end of a constellation. Any other questions that came up while we were watching this? Could you follow, because it's virtual and not in person, could you follow the movements the representatives were explaining? Were you able to follow that? Yeah? So when she said, I want to lie down, I lie on the left side, I lie on the right side, I'm looking, it's blurry, then the victim said it's blurry, now it's clear. That is really important for the facilitator in a virtual reality to have a 3D vision of all of this. Otherwise, you would not understand what's going on. Yeah. Yuko?
Why you know that this she needs to be placed on the right side or left side? How do you know?
No, I didn't know. They said they would. The representatives chose.
It feels like standing on the right side or left side, and the other lady was saying that it's not really, actually she wanted to be on the other way around.
Yeah.
But then which opinion would you
I have no opinion. They choose. You're just observing. You're just observing. Yeah, just observe, right? Okay. Yeah, Tamara.
It's connected. So it's connected. So what does it mean if they lay down on left or right? Does it has meaning or guidance, or it doesn't matter?
Not really. You just
Okay.
need to remember, in a workshop setting and with actual people, you see if a spot is empty or not. In a virtual workshop, you don't see it. So you need to make sure everybody's on the same page and have the same 3D vision. If in this example, if she says, okay, so the client lies on my right side, and then the murderer comes and wants to lie on the right side too, they are not lying at their side. They are lying at the side of the client, not of the victim. Yeah. But they need to lie on the side of the victim, right? So you just need to be aware of all of that. So you need to make sure, but that is only because it's virtual. that wouldn't happen if you see the people. You know, that wouldn't happen. Yeah. Okay.
So if you when you look at this then, so you want to lie on the right side, so that looking in the 3D model, I would be looking at the screen with them in my mind's eye on the left.
No, you take right for right, because that's the right shoulder of the victim. There is no confusion with that. You always think you're the victim. There's one right side and one left side. There is no mirroring. Understood? When we talk about a side, left or right, I show you that with my figurines. There can't be a confusion. Let me just hang on. I haven't had my camera on. Just a sec. But as I said, that's only. As I said, that's only for the virtual realm, right? Other than that, you wouldn't be confused at all. Okay.
Just while you're setting something, I'm going to be leaving in about 4 minutes, just to let everybody know, because I can hear a taxi has arrived outside.
Okay, very good. Well, we are done. We are done with our slides anyhow, so you're not missing anything out. So here is a person standing or lying down, doesn't make it different, right? Okay, I'm just standing up because you see them better. They have a face, right? Okay, so you put yourself in the same shoes as the figurine. Now they have a right shoulder here and a left shoulder here. Can you see that? If you would turn them around and they had the back to you, then that would be their right shoulder and that would be the left shoulder, right? Now you turn them around. Now this is the right shoulder and this is the left shoulder. That's all you need to know. You don't need
the
to.
opposite.
I think it's
Yes,
opposite.
the opposite.
It's
Yeah.
I
opposite.
say it's the opposite.
It's because your
Person
camera.
is the victim and the right side is going to be on the right side. So this figure is looking front, and I am like in this person, then the right side will be on the right side, right?
Yeah,
That's
the right side. So the right side is here.
so this is mirroring. Maybe the screen is.
I think
the screen is mirroring. Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that's the left side.
Zoom has
Okay, right. Okay, that's now okay, right. Now that is not a good demonstration, but anyhow, I have to stop mirroring. Anyhow, so you see the figurine, and when you look at the figurine, that is the left shoulder.
Yes.
Of the figurine.
Yeah.
Of the figurine.
Yeah.
So that's my point. That's the only point I want to make. You are putting yourself in the shoes of the figure or of the person, and then they say, my left side is empty, then it would look like this. If they say,
No.
if they say, I want them to lie on my left side, they would need to go there if they wanted to. Yeah. If they would go here, then they are not at her side. Yeah. So as a facilitator in a virtual situation, you need to have this 3D vision. And always follow, like that is your job, is to observe and be completely present and focused. And you don't need you don't need to remember any of this information. As soon as the constellation is over, you drop everything. You don't need to remember it, you don't need to write it down, you don't need to talk about it, nothing. Yeah. You are just connected in the moment, but this connection needs to be 100%. And then you are not missing out on any clues, hints, and you have the full picture. No? That's important. Okay? Good. Okay, let's talk about the entanglement. Bye, David. Bye. Let's talk about
See
the
you tomorrow.
entanglement now. See you tomorrow for a few minutes. Let me just stop sharing that. And going back to, I want to go back to, hang on, I want to go back to this animation here so we can talk about who was who in this video. Not coming up. No. Still working on it. Sometimes it's really slow. It doesn't want to connect now. Maybe it's just not important. So we stop it here and just see if you have any more questions. So when you were looking at the video, was it easy for you to follow the three persons who are part of the entanglement?
I'm still confused. I think it's better for me to see in the figure this yeah, then I probably understand too. I think maybe it's a language. I don't know. If I see that movement.
So that reminds me of really strongly advising you, if you will, to not to start virtual consultations until you have seen heaps of in-person constellation. Yeah. Because that's the only way you can develop this 3D vision. That doesn't come out of nothing, you know. That is experienced and learned. Yeah. If you see these entanglements in a workshop setting with other representatives, and you see and observe how they move and how they look and what they say and where they go, and this makes so much more sense, obviously, than in a virtual realm.
And I can see that from the YouTube too, right? There must be some.
Yeah. Do you know that on our training community website we have enough Bert Hellinger videos that you can watch on YouTube, and there are others, of course. If you find some videos that are not already listed there, please feel welcome to share it there. Yeah, just share it there as a post, because that's for everyone interesting. If you find in English, either English speaking or English undertitled video, preferable from Bert Hellinger or somebody else who does a good job, is also good. Yeah.
There's also that TV show, but that's not real.
Which one?
Family conflict. The Turkish.
Oh, the
TV
Another
series.
Self. Yeah, that's of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
that's all scripted. It's great. I love it, but it's scripted, obviously. And oh well, we talk about that actually. I'm not giving that away now. We talk about that in the next module. There is a flaw in that. But otherwise, it's quite good. It's not completely rubbish, you know. But no, they are real. There are some videos, especially older ones from Bert Hellinger's out there. Unfortunately, not many videos are taken from family constellation because most people don't want that in public, right? So you don't get that much, and you need a camera team to take the videos and all of that, obviously. So it's nothing that is easy to find. Yeah.
It comes to me that experience is the biggest teacher here.
Yeah.
So for David too, and for all of us, going through these workshops and exercises is so strong.
totally. So
After
so
that, you cannot deny the feeling you had, you know?
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
and
that's very, very
what came
important.
to me, I wanted to share this with David, but he left. That often we are
He will
not
see it on the
aware.
video recording.
Ah, yes. So for David, what came to my heart was, yeah, we often are not aware of the progress we do after the healing, you
Yeah.
know? So this is something for me so valuable. I always share this with people. I try to share. Please observe how you progress, you know? Don't watch now again on the old way, you know,
Yeah.
the mistakes, but see the progress. And you can feel it every day.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
very
look
true.
forward, David, to your constellation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Awesome.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
are at
what
the
was-
end of today's time. Is there any more question?
yeah,
Yuko?
it's something is extra. Well, for the self-study, I found a few constellation course by Udemy or something like this. It's on the web schooling, and that also counts as the credit. Or
I didn't
so.
understand what you were saying.
This is there's some like college course like internet. They are a facilitator, I think, and developed the course about how to do family constellation or
Ah, oh, I have
or
no idea. If you think me, send me the link before you watch that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there was a few courses like that, and then
It would be probably really confusing if you would take another course and that's parallel to this course.
it's not like it's like my learning of Udemy, like UDEMI.
Yeah, I know Udemy, that's a platform, but what is the course about?
It's family constellations practice with me, or family constellation do it yourself. So I don't know. I thought
you can watch it, but I don't want to put it in your worksheet. Just
okay. So
yeah,
that's like
watch it, but don't no. I think that's a bit borderline. Yeah.
Okay, it makes
Yeah?
sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. Awesome. I see you tomorrow then.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
Yeah,
for
see
being with
you.
me today, and I see you in 21 hours.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Thank you, sisters.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.